So something I've been working on is trying to clean up my woods, get them all usable. So where I'm standing, it used to all look like that, just thick, overgrown, viney brush where no human or beast can go through. So using the tractor and a lot of hand tools, I've cleaned a lot of it out. So it's another day of that. I cleaned this spot out yesterday. So I'm gonna set up a quick base camp here, run a tarp, set up a quick shelter, and then get to work. Okay, so for the back, we're gonna go 3 in again from the corner. So here's the corner. Let's go 3 in. And then I'll draw a straight line back to that other corner. And the same on the other side. Then you can take that bottom flap and just tuck it in, give you a little bit of ground sheet inside. So, then you just got the flaps to deal with. And I think if I raise the ridge line up a little bit, it'll get rid of that slack on that right side. We'll see in a minute. Pull this back a little bit. This is just a loop in one side. So I'll just run that loop through the tarp and just lark set it back on itself. So that loose flap that was up here, I just tied it off to a trekking pole and then run that down to a stake. Ideally a tree would be better so you wouldn't have this pole in the way, but I don't have a tree right in front of me here. And I've seen a lot of people get fancy and creative when they're tying off their stakes, but all you need to do is just wrap it around a few times. You don't have to tie any fancy slip knots or marlin spike hitches or anything, and that will hold it. I've never had a stick come off like that. And that's pretty much it. Pull out that corner a little bit to get a little more ground cover, and I'll pull my ground cover I brought with me in deeper. That's just an old ground cloth from a bigger tent I used to use. And that's pretty much it. Give a big little walk around. You could tie off this if you wanted to, but it's really don't need it. As they say in the movies, that'll do. Okay, so I missed recording the ridge line. So this type of shelter needs a ridge line. You can do a continuous ridge line, which is just one straight string running from one tree to the next, and you drape it over the top. Or I hammock camp a lot, and this is the way I hang my hammocks, is I just tie off each end. So there's an end going to this tree, and there's the other end tied to that tree without a string in the middle. And if you use these clips, you don't have to, but it sure makes life a lot easier. Go to Dutchware and they sell these things. You tie it off to here. There's a small loop in it, in this metal clip, and that goes around the tree and comes back. Then you go through this hoop, pull tension. Then when you got it as tight as you want, all you gotta do is wrap it around those dogs and it'll hold. You don't need to, you can tie a little half hitch or something in there if you want, but it won't go anywhere. Or do one-handed, but you get the idea. Put a toggle in there to make it extra secure, but that's really just gilding the lily. You certainly don't need to do that. Put a toggle in there, but you could. And then it's tied off at the third section. So you got the corner loop, one loop in the middle, and then you tie it off to a third. And it's the same way on the other side. And that first corner down here you tie off. That's also the third. So if you think of those thirds, and then you make a big square, and then you do whatever you want to with the flaps that come. You can take this flap and bring it in farther if you wanted, if you had a lot more wind coming this way, but that's all it needs. Pretty good shelter. And that's my sleep setup. I'll probably camp out here tonight. So my house is just right up there. So I'm not in the deep woods or anything. It's just something I come out here and play with. So, all right now. Bye now.